Today we're going to be talking about one of the L cluster events. Today we're going to be talking about the Great Tempest. However, first of all, we need to kind of make a shallow introduction to the L gates and how to get the events and to open them. First of all, the L gates are special gates that connect to a separate network from the main network. Yes, there is a main network, and this one doesn't really interact with it in any way, shape, or form. In order to find one of these L gates, you will need to locate a black hole system and see if there is one there, because that's the only place that they occur in. So if you're looking on the map and you don't know if there's going to be an L gate nearby, just steam straight towards the nearest black hole system and hope that you are lucky. Now, the gates can only be opened after researching a special project which can only be accessed by getting 7 insights. These can be obtained both through a repeatable technology or through events that trigger it. Also, all of these events have a grey goo theme. Nanites. That should already give you a good idea of what's sitting inside of the L cluster. Now, once you've collected enough of these insights, it's time to make a choice. Do you open the gates or do you leave them for now? One thing to keep in mind is that once the gates are open, all L gates in the galaxy will open up, and who knows what is on the other side. So, let's talk about one of the events that can happen, the Great Tempest, or the Grey Goo. Now, there is a 50% chance that this event spawns, and you will need to be ready for it. Make sure that you have at least 20,000 to 30,000 fleet power before you open the door. As soon as the gate network is reactivated, a surge goes through the galaxy as all gates except the one that you opened will experience strange ships flooding through. A message will pop up. It's the gate builders, or at least a log from them, and basically they're describing that the L cluster should never have been opened, as the nanobots that they used to build the network went amok and created a new mini endgame crisis. Your goal, as they specify it: destroy the central factory of the Great Tempest before it's too late. Now, as soon as you jump into the first system, the terminal egress, you will be greeted by 2 fleets that are either 15 or 30k in fleet power. These are the Tempest Shoals, and they should not be underestimated. They come in 2 flavors. The smaller type, called the Interdictor class, it comes with 4 energy sphere launchers, a energy weapon that does between 100 and 150 damage per shot and fires every 2.1 days. Secondly, it has 3 nanite fighter bays, which aside from scout fighters are one of the few ones in the game that use fighter behavior. They do around 20 damage per volley and have around 200 hit points. Be sure to bring a lot of destroyers with a lot of flak and point defense to counter these, as they are a significant chunk of the damage that will be dealt to you. Then there is the Great Confluence Mothership, a very similar design to the Interdictor, although it has 10 fighter bays, 4 sphere launcher, and 1 special energy arc weapon that is very similar to the arc emitter, as it does between 1 and 9,999 damage every 12 days. This makes the ship rather interesting, as its main gun could knock out your cruiser and battleships across the system, as it, like energy weapons as in the arc weapon, has 100% accuracy. Again, a lot of flak and mainly shield ships should do the trick here, although having a bunch of additional hull armor would be good as well, preferably something along the lines of forged crystalline plates. Now, you should always try to outnumber them by at least 25% in terms of fleet power, so around 70k should do the trick. Now, your main goal here is to destroy the factory. Ignore exploring the L cluster for now and head straight for the trinary system that has only 1 entrance. The factory should be there. Now, the factory itself is very similar to the motherships, although it has more sphere launcher, and the main problem here is that 8 more shoal fleets that are defending the thing, which sit around 240,000 fleet power. However, since they use mostly fighters, you should be able to counter them fairly easily with a little bit less than that, as long as you have enough flak. As you destroy the factory, all the Grey Goo fleets will die, as the main hub is apparently controlling all of them. You will also be informed that all the nanite worlds that are in the L cluster, or if any of the shoals that managed to get out into the main area of space destroyed any planets, which then turn into nanite worlds, are now ready to be re-terraformed. They become terraforming candidates. Finally, this is also the only place in the game where you can find 3 special strategic resources. The Grey Crystals, which improves weapon damage for kinetic energy and explosives. Grey Dust, that increases terraforming speed by 50%, but also makes it 15% more expensive. And Grey Scales, which boosts food output by 20%. Obviously, you can use these to bribe any of the remaining Empire for other resources. Though, you have to make sure to capture the L cluster quickly for your own means, as now everybody that has an L gate within their empire can get to it. Although, one of the positive things here is that once you control the terminal egress, you can attack anybody that has an L gate in their territory. And that wraps up the Great Tempest, one event for the L cluster that has a 50% chance of spawning. Next time we're going to be talking about Dragon Season, but in the meantime, be sure to like and or subscribe this video. If you didn't like it, well, there is a dislike button as well. And I would also like to point out that there is a Discord channel for all of you to join, where we can all hang out and talk about Stellaris and unrelated subjects as well. There's about 700 of us right now, and we're looking forward to see you there. The link for this is in the description. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take good care of yourselves, and as always, each other.